Welcome everyone to today's episode of Young Fathers of America. We are excited. We've been waiting. This is a long time coming, and we've been waiting on it. We're excited about it. We are your hosts. I'm Gabriel Allen Irvin Sr. This is Virgil Sanford to my right. This is my man T. Coop, Tariq Cooper to my left.
Yes, sir.
We're excited about it.
Yes,
so
sir.
Listen, we're here to talk about fatherhood, and we got a show for you. So we're here because we truly believe in raising up young fathers, and not only raising them up to be fathers, but men.
Absolutely.
In general.
That's it.
And
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to go through a few things, and we're excited to share with you and share with young fathers on how we can have them to be better fathers. I mean, that's my take. What's your take on it, Tariq?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank both of you guys for giving me this opportunity to be involved in something so great. This opportunity, I feel like, will be something for our souls and for our community. Helping these young men become better fathers and grow into the strength that I know that they have already is going to be great for me, for one, in order to help myself, because I think me helping young fathers, it helps me become a better father as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff, man. I agree with the both of you. It's an honor for me to be in the midst with you guys and chopping it up. I think the epidemic of fatherless and fatherless homes is raising. We have percentages and statistics that prove that these young men need direction, they need guidance, they need love from men. They need to understand fatherhood, manhood, and discipline, and those kind of things that we'll be discussing. So I think this is a great platform for that kind of topic discussion.
Right, and that's what we're going to do. I mean, young fathers face a significant barrier, but can thrive with the right support.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them that right support, the right guidance, and opportunities for personal growth.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yes, sir.
Their involvement in their children's lives have a profound positive impact on both their own future as well as their children's future.
Exactly.
So let's jump right into it.
Let's get it.
Right into it.
Let's get it.
So when I say fatherhood, T. Coop, what does that mean to you? What do you think about when I say fatherhood?
Man, to sum it up in, let's see, how many words is that? 2 words, greater than. I think fatherhood to me is the hope and the wish that we have our children grow to be greater than we are. So greater than. I want them to, have the opportunities that I didn't have growing up, have the knowledge that I wasn't given growing up, and have the opportunities that I wasn't afforded growing up. So a father offers these opportunities, this knowledge, this love that he might have missed, or that he got and that he has and have learned over years how to share that with his children. So fatherhood is a complex thing that embodies a lot of growth, I would say.
Definitely evolving
That's
as well.
good. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it do.
Right.
So what does it mean to you, Barry?
When I think of fatherhood, the word leadership comes to mind.
Absolutely.
I think in order to lead well, you have to lead your own life well. And so the skills required, the disciplines required for strong leadership, structure, disciplines, and those kind of factors impact fatherhood, because if I can't lead my own life well, I'm not going to be a good leader in leading others.
Right.
So we have to acquire the right thinking patterns and thought processes based on our experience. The motivation for fatherhood and what drives a father is love. Unconditional love is important. And understanding that we have to impart those same values and principles into the young men and young ladies coming up under our leadership.
Facts.
Leading the home well, providing protection,
Absolutely.
making a series of good decisions, good, strong decisions that lead to a great future. So that's what I think about when I hear the word fatherhood.
Leadership.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I think it's evolving as well. I mean, I think is an evolution of what a man is all about.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
I think is always becoming the best version of you as a man.
Right.
Increasing in leadership. You know what I'm saying? Leadership intelligence, increasing in spiritual intelligence.
Yes.
Definitely increasing in emotional intelligence, because that's one of the reasons young fathers fail. And I wouldn't say fail. I would say hadn't gotten there yet.
Not as effective as fathers.
Not as effective, because how they going to have strong emotional intelligence at 13,
At
14,
certain
15,
ages, right.
16, in their teens, you know what I'm saying? They got to
Grow too.
evolve.
That's good.
So
That's good.
that's why I am excited about what we're doing, because we're going to teach them as we are taught.
That's good.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That part right there.
That part right there.
We're going to learn together.
Absolutely, because our kids make us better men.
That's
Right.
For
good.
that
Absolutely.
reason.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Our kids make us better men for that reason.
Yes.
Wow.
We evolving.
Wow.
You know,
Yes.
we are learning our emotions. You know, so that's what I look at. That's what I look at. How I look at fatherhood is ever evolving from man to man. You know, it's levels.
Evolution.
To it.
The word comes to mind, self-discovery. We're in the process of discovering who we are. And as the more we put the work in of self-discovery, self-love, self-care, self-discipline, building our self-esteem, then I think we arrive at a place called self-mastery. Once we learn to master our shortcomings and the mistakes that we've made, we learn from them, and we evolve into a better version of ourselves, as you said, then we can readily impart those same experiences into the young men coming behind us, passing the torch, passing the mantle back. So mentorship comes into mind. We're actually mentoring, and discipling is a biblical term, where we're coming alongside someone and we're teaching them to do what we can do, and then it reciprocates when they go make disciples. Jesus said, "Go into all the world and teach them the things that I've taught you," making disciples making disciples, and that's how the community benefits from strong men coming up under strong leadership.
Still sharpen steel.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we are faith-based, so if you don't believe in faith, you might as well go ahead and turn us off right now, because we cannot move into fatherhood without God. We can't do it. So
That's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
But that's what I like about Verge. Verge, that life coach coming out of Verge, boy,
Yes, sir.
that's why that's my big brother right there.
Well, I appreciate you saying
That
that.
life
big
coach
homie.
coming out of him, boy, I tell you, because he relates.
I'm grateful, Brother Gabe and Brother Cooper, that God allowed me to sit under great leadership
Absolutely.
and understanding a person can be honest, tell the truth. I didn't know you could tell the truth until I was well in my 30s.
Right.
The environment I came up in, everybody was lying like a rug.
Gotcha.
And so it was about gain. And so I got around real men who had good jobs and had a car in the driveway. I was sleeping on my sister's couch. I didn't know nothing about being honest and integrity, character, and those kind of things.
Right.
So I'm grateful for God leading me to a place where I could sit at the feet of a great leader and watch him change the trajectory of the entire community. And so that's when I fell in love with Christ, because he was a strong leader under the leadership of Christ. And so I embraced the holiness and sanctification, gave my life to Christ. And I don't have a problem with people who choose not to.
Right.
Everybody as a free moral agent can choose whatever they want to do. But as fathers, we have to have a template to follow in order to empower the young men lives coming behind us the same way our lives have been empowered for greatness, for success, cultivating healthy and wholesome relationships, financial literacy, how to carry yourself a certain way with dignity, and those kind of things, being respectful, being honest, and the freedom to be transparent, to be who you really are. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate that compliment, Gabe.
Oh, it's there, man. I'm telling you, it's there. A lot of times you speak into my life, I don't even think you watching. I don't even think you looking. You listening, you paying attention, you know what I mean? But you be paying attention to me, and you need those type of people in your circle.
Yes, sir.
Honest
You know what I
Yes, sir.
mean? You
Yes,
need
sir.
those
Tell you
type
the
of
truth.
tell you the truth, man. And lift you up at the same time.
Right. Yeah,
you
it
know
ain't
what I'm
about
saying?
tearing
You got to
down.
have a balance there.
Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
That's
You got to
good.
have a balance
That's
there.
good. Because I think that's the problem in our society. People wear masks and they're not comfortable being themselves because most people don't know who they are. And so when we focus on ourselves first, work out your own salvation.
Right.
Get the plank out of your own eye.
That's right.
Examine yourself to see if you are who you called to be, who you should be, who God created you to be. Then you can infect the community and empower others.
And be
but
selfless.
It starts with self.
Self is self.
Yes,
Got
sir.
to.
That's really good, man. That's really good.
This is just the beginning.
That's really good.
I was listening to you when you were talking about self-mastery, talking about self-improvement, self-motivation, and knowing oneself. And I want to let the world know that Young Fathers of America will be implementing the Selfish program. And the Selfish program is a program where we help our young men, young ladies, whoever it is, the youth that we work in our community, even the adults we work with, because this group that we work right here, we work with all facets of life, young men, grown men, name it, we work with them. We have no issue with that. But selfish is for everybody. You have to build yourself in order to be, know who you are, know oneself. So with selfish, like I say, self-awareness, self-respect, self-discipline, self, you build that, and then you can be selfless.
That's good.
So
That's great.
once you have knowledge of who you are, you can implement these practices on young men and young ladies, especially young fathers, helping them become better fathers. Because a lot of our kids think that we're just perfect and we've had no issues or no problems growing up, or no turmoil, no trials and tribulations, which could be further from the truth. So we got to let them know that we've been through the steps that they went through, and that's why we're telling them these things. We're not perfect, but we want them to know that consistency and being present is the key.
And that's why we're walking with young fathers in the way that we're going to walk with them, with Young Fathers of America, because I know my uncle used to tell me all the time, I used to go through some stuff, and he was like, man, I did that.
Yeah.
And when I realized I wasn't the only one going through
Exactly.
I was okay. I thought it was the worst thing in the world. But we need to walk with these young fathers and let them know you're gonna make mistakes.
You're not the only one.
Right? You're gonna be better.
Right.
You're gonna be a better man, and that's the challenge, because we gotta teach them how to be fathers and men at the same time.
Yes, I think that's organic, Gabe. I think what happens is when we train ourselves and others, they evolve into that.
Absolutely.
Automatically. That's the finished product. It's an organic process of training, installing, empowering, building. We're pouring ourselves into them, and this is the final product.
So you're saying it's happening at the same time?
It's happening simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah. Unaware.
I agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
And so I salute you, brothers, for even having the compassion and the concern for it. It's an epidemic. We look the other way. We cluck our tongues over the shame.
Right.
These young men don't have access to men like you and I. We go to work and we go home. They don't have access. And so how do they know how to be a man if they don't have a person in front of them modeling that out? There's none at home. There's none in the community. We don't really know what's going on in the community because we're not in the community. We don't have boots on the ground out here really manning the community.
That's why we're going to build it.
And so that's why we're paying attention to this, and this is going to be some of our initiatives. I think we have a daddy dinner.
Dinner with Dad.
Yes, what is that?
Sir.
Can you describe?
Yeah, absolutely. Dinner with Dad's program that Young Fathers of America will be putting together for young men and young ladies without fathers or with fathers, it doesn't matter. Want to show our young people a group of positive black men that care about them and that have their back within our community. So Dinner with Dads from Young Fathers of America will be held every 3 weeks. And what we're going to do with that program is we're going to patronize black-owned businesses, first off in Houston.
That's awesome.
Right. And then as we grow, as we gain more support, we're going to patronize black-owned businesses all over the United States.
My goodness.
And bring our kids out. Sometime bringing kids from Houston, maybe out of town, in order to have Dinner with Dads in Alabama, Georgia. Just depends on what it is. Parents are definitely welcome to be involved in this, because we encourage that, because that's going to build more strength in our kids and empower them to be better people, better parents eventually. Future fathers also will be a part of Young Fathers of America.
Future fathers.
Yes, sir, right. So that's going to encourage those guys that don't have children, but we're going to give them something to look to for one day when they do become fathers.
My goodness. Right. So, my goodness.
Yes, in my mind, I know this program is going to be something that's surpasses great. It's going to surpass all expectations. If you think it was going to be awesome, multiply that times 10.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I want to salute you and Gabe, first of all, for the calling that's on your lives. You already have an organization that's geared towards that demographic of young men.
Right. Yes, sir.
Gabe's shirts indicated that I am father, and
Awesome.
he's already implemented values, the seeds of value to young men.
Yes, sir.
And so we have a passion. I have a passion for young men, Courageous Ministries,
Yes, sir.
which target young men who society throws away, at-risk youth, people who are not normally the kind of people that people like.
Right.
And so we've become a church without walls, with boots on the ground, and this is a form of that, where we're reaching a particular demographic of young men who don't know that they don't know.
You mind telling me the name of that organization again?
Courageous Ministries.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, Courageous Ministries is showing people that how to be courageous and say no and feel comfortable in that decision when everybody else is saying yes.
Yes, sir.
And you have the ability to say yes when everybody else is saying no, and don't feel like something's wrong with you.
Exactly.
Also to
Being yourself.
impart a series of good decisions. Decision-making processes determine the quality of your destiny, the quality of your future.
Absolutely.
So if we can help these young men understand the weight and the value of the choices they make has consequences or rewards. You choose. And so now they got a frame to think within, and they have a structure to structure their mind in the way they think. I believe if I can change what you think, I can change what you do.
Facts.
As a man
That's
thinketh
true.
in his heart, so is he.
Right.
So you can't do what you don't know. So once we put this knowing in front of them, now they're equipped and they have better tools to navigate life.
So, what do you think the strongest or the most challenging thing a young father would encounter when he first started out as a father?
Like us all. And I don't think it's a particular age that presents this struggle. Self-mastery. It's you versus you. It's not the drugs. It's not the gangs. It's the person that you choose to become. And I think once we feel comfortable in our own skin and recognize who the man in the mirror is and recognize that our identity has been stolen from us, once we give them an identity and who they really are and help them to understand this particular skill sets and gifts that God has empowered them with, I think they have a chance to win. I think the problem is they don't have self-awareness, self-actualization. And so when we point that out to them and they come to understand that, they can implement self-mastery and all the things that we're talking about.
Awesome.
So it starts with the man in the mirror. That's what I think the greatest challenge is. Not the environment around them, the world that's going on inside of them. Once they master that, they can handle anything.
That's being developed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I agree.
What you think, Coop?
I'm going to go with financial issues. A lot of the young men that we will work with now and in the future are too young to get a job. And I'm not going to lend a blind eye to the fact that a lot of times, even when they're old enough, our society won't hire young black men for these jobs that pay a substantial amount that actually take care of your family. They want to pigeonhole and I'm not going to say the candidate's name, but he says black jobs. And I don't understand what a black job is
My
because
goodness.
in my mind state, I can do any job in the world.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Don't understand that.
I
but
never heard that.
Our society,
I heard it here recently.
right, keeps saying, they're taking the black jobs. They're taking the black jobs. And that tells you right there what they think of us and what we can do. And that's our kids are suffering from that because I feel like not enough of us grown men are standing up and saying, you know what, enough of that. We're going to create industries for our kids to survive and thrive.
That's great.
We're going to teach our kids how to own their own business, not just restaurants. And nothing wrong with restaurants, not just doing hair. Nothing wrong with doing hair. Those are great professions. I admire and respect all.
Me too.
But I want to teach our kids that there's more business out there that these other people are not even being challenged by because our kids are the smartest kids on this planet. I said that.
Say that again. Our
kids are the smartest kids on this planet.
What do you use to back that up? What made you have such confidence in that comment?
If you take our culture from the beginning And we are throwing trash, throwing the worst of the worst and the lowest of the lowest, we find some way to make this work and survive through generations. We've done this over and over and over and over again. This is not something that we just teach our kids. This is something that's inside of us.
My goodness.
As a people. I truly believe that. So I know what I'm working with when I work with my juveniles. If I give them structure, like I teach structure classes, structure Coach Cooper.
Yes.
If I give them that, they long for that, they love that, they respect it. If they don't have it, they act on what everybody acts on when they're first born, and that's how to survive.
Yes,
Survival is the first thing that we know anything about. We're not taught
First
that.
law of nature.
It's the first law of nature.
Yes, sir.
I ask my kids all the time, what does a baby do the first thing when he comes out? Cries most of the time, right? And I say, when a baby cries, what's wrong with him? And the first, well, he hungry maybe, or he wet, or he this, or he's a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Once you go dry him off, clean him up, feed him,
Yes, sir.
those tears stop, that crying stops.
Mm-hmm.
So that baby, even as a baby and not knowing anything, is trying to survive.
Yes, sir.
So that only gets stronger as you become an adult. But yes, that's my mindset. I feel like financial. I know I went off, talking about other things.
All of that's
but
encompassed.
I feel like that's part of it.
I agree.
Our kids are not on an equal playing field when it comes to these jobs or financial gain in our communities.
I think it's all interdependent. I think it's all hand in glove.
Facts. Oh
The
yeah, it's
financial
more than one.
aspect,
It's
financial
more than one.
literacy is very important to
It's
teaching.
more than one obstacle, but I think that's the
a big
biggest
one.
one.
That's a
Yeah.
big one because if we
That's
don't,
the biggest one to me.
we sending our children to work instead of teaching them how to invest and send their money to work for them instead of them
Exactly.
going to work for their money and all those kind of principles.
They're exchanging time for money.
Yes, exchanging time for money.
Right back
They
full circle.
exchange
Had
common
to.
hours. One of my mentors used the term common hour thinking.
Right.
We think in common hour terms.
Right.
$10 an hour, $20 an hour.
Right.
And when you change that mindset and understand that you can make $3 million in an hour or $50 million in an
Exactly.
hour, then you don't limit yourself. You take the limits off. So these are the kind of thinking patterns that we're talking about, imparting these principles and values and understanding.
Unlocking these limits, huh?
Systematic thinking.
Unlock these limits.
Yes, instead of just
Yeah.
planning and goal setting, which is important.
Right,
But
definitely.
have an ultimate goal that's going to give you the liberty to be who God created you to be without financial concerns.
Restrictions.
You can go on a vacation and got to worry about pinching pennies. Financial freedom.
Right.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I get
I
carried
can
away.
never
I get excited.
I'm
real
good.
easy.
I thought
Yeah,
that
I
was
got about 12 things I'm thinking about.
12.
So I'm listening and trying
Yeah.
to stay
My
composed at the
goodness.
same time. But you mentioned
Yes, sir.
something. You mentioned economic hardship,
Right.
And I
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to read a statistic
Okay.
based on that. It say many young fathers, especially those who become parents in their teens or early 20s, face financial difficulties.
Absolutely. Yes,
So
sir.
you're definitely right about that. Teen fathers are less likely to finish high school, which impacts their job prospects and long-term earning potential.
Yes, sir.
About 50% of teen fathers complete high school by age 22, compared to nearly 70% of their peers who are not parents, who are not teen parents.
Right.
Actually.
Exactly. Right.
So yeah, you definitely hit that on the head, because what happens is, how are they gonna know how to provide? You know what I mean? They're still being provided for.
That's
so
good.
a lot of times their parents have to step into that provision until they know how to provide for themselves and realize what responsibility that they have.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Because now
If
you're
they ever
responsible
realize
for a whole life.
Yeah, and they got to learn that.
If
But
they ever
until they
realize
do, it takes their parents, it takes us, it takes young fathers of America,
Absolutely.
and that's what we're here to.
Well, Coop, you said something to me, or I believe to me and Gabe. I think we both were present when you mentioned this, and I haven't been able to sleep since. It's really tragic to recognize that you indicated you know a young man that's 15 years old
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
who has 6 children by 6 different girls.
Right. And that's a fact. I'm a juvenile practitioner, and I work with juveniles. I've been working for juveniles since I was 23. But this particular
What are you,
place,
24 now?
24 and a half. Keep going. Times 2.
What a blessing.
But definitely, this young man that I spoke of, he had no clue. He had no clue of his obligations, his responsibility. He was having fun, you know. And sadly, a lot of our older men in our community, not a lot, some of our older men in our community are not teaching these young men about responsibility after you get you some. I know that might not be the right term, but after you sleep with this little girl and y'all do whatever you do, you're just as responsible for that child that comes about. In our community, it's been a thing that she's going to be all right. She's going to get housing. She's going to get food stamps. She's going to get this and she's going to get that. But that has created so much of a downfall in our community that we depend on that. And these young men feel like they have no responsibility after that fact. You know, because if they're going to be all right anyway, well, I can move on to the next one. And I'm not saying that because I know that to be fact. That's just what it seems like, and that's what I'm seeing. Because they keep moving to the next one and to the next one without sitting down and saying, hey, you know what, I have a responsibility here. I need to make sure that I take care of this child. This child is mine. This is part of me.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like Young Fathers of America was designed to address such issues. So I appreciate you bringing that back up, but that is absolutely a true story. And a young man, I speak with him all the time about how to be better, how to be a better father. And don't let the amount of kids that you have or how hard it is stop you from being there for your children. Because whether you're there right now or whether you're not there, they're going to grow up. It'll be better for you being there and doing as much as you can for your children.
That's really
if
good.
you stay present, something will unfold.
I think it resonated with me so profoundly because I thought about the decisions I made. At 13 and 14, I had my first sexual experience at 9.
Right.
And so when you stick a pin in a balloon filled with oil, the innocence seeps out.
Let's go.
And once the innocence is lost, there's no way to replace it regardless of what age you are. And so I looked at myself and how promiscuous I had become based on my first experience. And when I reached the orgasm at the age of 9, I wanted to experience that over and over again. And not to mention the lack of control and discipline when it came to masturbation and pornography.
Right.
And how that led to illicit sexual behaviors.
Right.
And a disease to womanize at 13, 14, 15. Right. So I'm saying all that to say that that's not an isolated case.
No, not at all.
My imagination tells me that in the black community, on a nationwide level, that's pervasive. We just don't hear about it because we don't have access to the communities on that level.
I think we do hear about it. If you think about it, I don't know how it was with you guys growing up, and I'm pretty sure it was the same, but all my uncles, how many girlfriends you got, boy?
Hey, that's what it was based on.
It was based on that.
Not only that, but how many times you hit it?
You done hit it. I was getting to that. Trust me, I was getting that. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. You know, when I was 12, 13, I was like, hey,
yes,
I got
sir.
5 of them, Uncle.
Yes,
you know,
sir. Killing the game.
I got, and
made you a man back then.
It made you a man. And so that's
sure did.
And then as our community becomes more sexualized, now it's even more. It's even more.
The media.
Right.
Yeah, the media, right.
It's in the music.
Right. And I'm not saying other communities don't deal with it, but other communities don't have the same thing that we have to go up against. You might have a kid at 15, 16 years old in a white community, but you're going to be able to get a job, not a black job.
No doubt.
You're not going to get one of those black jobs.
You're entitled to one.
One of those entitled jobs. You know what
complexion
I'm saying?
connection.
Complexion connection. And you'll be able to take care of your child.
Yes, sir.
You get what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
So it's a difference.
The deck is
It's,
stacked.
you know, yeah. If I'm able to do the same thing that you're able to do, but I don't have the same benefits
Yes.
that you have doing the
Yes.
same thing that you're doing,
Yes.
I'm going to fall by the wayside.
Yes, eventually. Yes.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
I'm not
That's
going to have the same.
Yeah.
We're not on the same playing field. So
That's it.
So that's what's going on in our community.
That's good.
And I really feel like we do have the knowledge of, but it's just that our uncles, our cousins, our grandfathers, our men that are above us, instead of saying, "Hey," I've never heard my uncle say, "Hey, you got that little girl that's your girlfriend that you faithful to,
Yes.
and that you treat like a little lady and show some respect." I've never heard not one, and I have some great uncles. I'm not
Yeah.
dogging them,
Yeah.
but I've never heard none of those guys say those words.
Well, I'm looking at here, it says limited involvement. And this is a statistic that indicates that studies suggest that young fathers, especially teen fathers, are often less involved in their children's lives compared to older fathers. This is due to a combination of factors, including financial instability, a lack of emotional readiness,
Right.
strained relationships with the child's mother, and societal stereotypes.
Right.
So when we look at we're back to the thinking processes of our young men and how we've, even as adults, been conditioned in
Right.
our blackness, in our isness, in our personhood.
Yes,
the
sir.
deck has already been conditioned and reconditioned for us to follow off the path
Exactly.
to success
Exactly.
and wellness and these kinds of things. So what we're discussing here we begin to recognize the real value and the importance of what we're doing here in the Young Fathers of America.
Exactly.
And I Am Father and Courageous Ministries, and I want to be a father, and I want to grow up, and whatever
sir.
the organizations may
Right.
come to be.
Yes, sir.
It's very paramount that we rescue our young people, because if we don't do it, who's going to
will?
do it?
Right.
If we don't make it happen, how is it going to happen?
Who will?
So our commitment, our passion, our allegiance to this, we're asking for prayer, support, and we want more recognition and involvement in this endeavor, because I think this is a platform that God is going to elevate to a highly visible level where we'll begin to get more recognition. And it ain't about the money. It's not about you and I. It's about the cause.
Exactly.
It's about the purpose.
Exactly.
It's about the experience that I have had at 68 years old that I can give back to these young men, and it take me 20 minutes and give them what it took me 20 years to learn.
Yeah, right.
I can give it to them in 20
Yes,
minutes. So
yes.
these are the kind of things that we're trying to implement
Yeah.
within this organization. So I'm very excited about this.
You said something real deep just then. You said 68.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was 25.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I ain't counting. but God has been so good to me, Coop. I'm not that smart. I got to give him the glory.
Absolutely.
Because God has allowed me to live as long as I have. I'm the patriarch of the family. There's nobody in my lineage and heritage older than me than one person, and that's a cousin of mine. She's 82 or 3 right now. But God spared my life, and up until now, brother, he's allowed me to live without any health issues. I don't take any medication.
Right.
And I'm just grateful, man. And so I want to
blessing.
spend this last quarter of my time giving back and making sure that when I leave this world, I want to leave it different than the way I came. And I think God is going to use this platform to impact that that desire that we have.
Just thinking what you're saying, your age, my age, Gabe's age, we have over 150 years collectively
My goodness, man. Listen
of
to that.
knowledge and experience
Listen
that
to
we've
that. How
had.
powerful is that?
And again, we don't profess to be professionals at being fathers. That's not what we don't want you guys to think that what we're saying is we're the best, we're this, we're that. What we are caring, understanding, compassionate. That's what we are. And it really means a lot to us to be able to say, hey, I want to help these young men.
Yes, sir.
I want to help these kids beyond the young men, be better. Because if we help that young man that's a father, we're helping that child as well. And if people talk about recidivism and the rate of kids being locked up,
My goodness,
we
man.
can stop recidivism.
See.
I don't even want to talk
See.
about
Ooh,
recidivism.
you
I don't
feel
even
me.
want to talk about them going in. So if we got our fathers in the households and we can stop these young men from
Preventive measures.
even going in.
Prevention.
That's where Future Fathers of America, under the umbrella of Young Fathers
Talk
of
about
America,
it. Yes, sir.
come into play.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
Look, we're not telling y'all need us. We're telling y'all that we're here and we're going to be a great organization that can help with whatever you guys need done as far as working with young men and young fathers in our community.
Well, I appreciate you being conservative. I'm radical. You need us. You need
I was
this.
trying to be good. Bird, I was trying
we
to be
need
good.
this.
Facts.
Our young people need it.
Facts.
The world need it.
Facts.
These young people don't even expect to reach the age of 21
That's sad.
because of so many funerals. They seeing their friends die on a daily basis. So if we don't provide a level of intervention and recognize and have a sense of urgency
Right.
in the need of what we're implementing here, we can't be lackadaisical.
At
we
all.
can't be laid back. I'm not a spaghetti back, jelly back Christian. I got steel in my back and iron in my back.
Hey.
I understand purpose.
Gotta do it.
I understand the calling that God is calling us not only to do, but who He's calling us to be. And to be able to do that with every energy that God has given us. And I think that's why God has preserved my health. Because I'm excited and I'm trying to be, real conservative, but I'm ecstatic
No, be that.
about what God is calling us to do.
We need
and I
that
know that
energy.
He's going to provide all that we need to make this
Resources
happen.
and tools. Yes, sir.
So we're making a strong appeal to the public that this is not just some haphazard thing that we just dreamed up. This is a calling. We believe this like we believe we're black, like we believe our name. We need this. I don't want to beg to differ with you, brother, but we need this, man.
Look here.
Like we need
Look here.
everything. Because if we don't do something,
Yeah.
what's going to be the end result?
Yeah,
Right.
we got to do it now. So
Facts.
stay tuned
tuned.
because we have. We've mentioned a few things here to get the mission out, to get the vision out. One is the dinner. We got game night.
Okay.
Right. We got a lot of things coming down. We got
games. Yes,
line
sir.
games.
Right. There you go.
Coming
Yeah.
down the
Yes.
pipe. So stay connected, and we're going to give you some information to stay connected on how to stay connected.
Big facts.
We got a conference coming up, Young Fathers Conference.
That's good.
And that's going to be
June.
crazy. It's going to be crazy. Speak on that, Coop. Speak on that
Look,
young conference.
so this is
Young
what we
Fathers
did.
Conference coming up.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm not going to tell you how the whole thing came together because that was amazing
Yes.
in itself.
Yes,
but the conference itself is about giving these young men tools and tactics to be better fathers in their future, in their life with their kids. So out of the Young Fathers Conference, Young Fathers of America was born. And it's in its infancy, but like I say, I think we're the oldest baby alive because we have 150 years of collected experience.
Oh,
in
wait,
doing
the oldest baby alive.
oldest
Man,
baby
you
alive.
genius.
Give him the date.
Your date is going to be June 14,
that.
2025. So get with us. You're going to have the information to reach out to us if you want to be involved, if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to be a part of this history-making event. Just let us know, and we'd love to have you. We'd appreciate all help and all support. Thank
We
you.
need you to share. We need you to subscribe. We need you to like. We need you
That's
to
it.
help us help us.
Right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, you're going to have more information coming down the pipe on when the events are, when we're going live, all the programs that we have in the cities and the states that we're going to be in. So you want to stay connected. Definitely
Yes.
want to stay connected because we're
Absolutely.
building a community.